Alright, so I know this is a bit of a departure from the regular programming, but it's something that I've been looking to do for a while now. Today I'm going to start a series discussing movies. Now, that could mean many different things. Maybe I'm going to start gushing about why I love my favourite movies so much, or start some sort of deep analysis of something a bit more arty that's captured my attention. No, I'm not doing that. Instead, I'm going to be looking at the genre of filmmaking that utterly fascinates me. They're so bad that it's good. The train wrecks you just can't look away from. Those pictures that, whether through inexperience or sheer incompetence, swing the needle so far into awfulness that they come back round to brilliance. And I'm going to be looking into these films to separate those that are unintentionally hilarious to those that are just mind-numbing torture. Because, frankly, I've got nothing better to do with my life. And so, with that being said, let me welcome you to the Disaster Piece Asylum. With a double meaning in that name, because I must be insane to be deciding to do this, and also as a little cheeky nod to a certain film studio that's bound to crop up quite a lot in this series. Today's patient is a 2012 SyFy original, Piranhaconda. Let's get started. So we open up, as we often do in these types of films, with a helicopter establishing shot over the credit sequence. But this one has a very major difference. We've got an original theme song, and wow, it's out of place. Even more interesting than the song choice, however, is the story behind it, as when I looked for the song for the purpose of this review, I found that it had been posted by the actual woman that sang it on her own YouTube channel. She also posted this comment on the video, claiming that the SyFy channel ripped her off. She says that they didn't pay her any royalties for the use of this song, which, if it's true, really sucks. Very scummy behaviour. It turns out that this establishing helicopter is actually relevant to the plot for a change, as it contains Dr. Lovegrove, who is played by Michael Madsen, clearly struggling a little bit between Tarantino paychecks at the moment. The Doctor is here in Hawaii to investigate a river devil that's apparently killed his father. Madsen and his friends that are definitely not just here to get eaten at the end of this scene stumble upon the creature's nesting area. Or maybe it's just the remnants of a recent Easter egg hunt, considering how styrofoamy they look. After some fantastic acting...
Look. You were right. Yeah, get your camera out.
Madsen decides to take an egg home with him in the most secure container available to him. A blender. That's from a blender. Maybe he's just looking to make a Piranhaconda omelette. But alas, in a twist that no one could have ever seen coming, the two randos have been eaten and Madsen must make his escape, bravely running towards the helicopter and oh my god, the music's back again, please help. The pilot attempts what is possibly the most half-hearted getaway in a helicopter attempt I have seen in cinema history, while Michael Madsen looks a bit nonplussed, and then we're back to the credits for a bit.
Bruce, where are you? We were supposed to be on the path 20 minutes ago. Well, yeah, I'm about to go swimming. Are you watching me right now, you pervert? Hello? Bruce! Bruce! Not you. Not you.
What's going on here? Did someone tape over this scene by mistake? In fact no, the reason for this very jarring transition to Saturday the 14th is because we're on a movie set to meet the rest of our main characters. Clearly we could only afford Michael Madsen for about 20 minutes of screen time. So, we've got Rose, who is a script editor for this film and our protagonist. Jack, part-time stuntman, part-time love interest. He's got some sort of vague military background that's never really expanded on because we need someone that knows how to use a gun later on. Kimmy, B-movie queen and damsel waiting to be distressed. And Milo, the exhausted director.
I hated it, and I'll tell you why. It was terrible. I'm not going to worry about it now. We're losing light, and it's a long way back to the hotel. Let's wrap it up, everybody. It's a wrap.
Hey, I bet that was said on the set of Piranhaconda at least once. Oh, and there is one other character of major importance, but trust me, we'll get to that later. During before he casually offers to murder Kimmy before asking Rose out, but she declines, saying that she has
script revisions to go over.
No one's been eating in the last few minutes, so I guess it's time to introduce a new character. This random lady shows up to look for something, alone in the woods, and she's been eaten. Shockingly, despite the very low bar for acting in this film, she's apparently the only porn actress in it. Elsewhere, it turns out that Rose and Jack did end up getting that drink after all, while they listened to some ukulele music ripped straight out of a YouTube vlog.
Remember that?
Broke your leg. No safety net.
Yep.
Could I get you folks another round of drinks?
Yes, 2 more.
Rose is looking through some Piranhaconda lore on this definitely real desktop. Doesn't your computer have a begin button? Jack gets called away for a bit of gratuitous sunscreen application. I take back my earlier comment, I think the camera guy worked in porn too. Elsewhere on the island, some random lady shows up in a boat and then gets eaten within like 20 seconds of being introduced. No name, no backstory, nothing. Though she does have time to take a top off at least. Let's just hope this boat will be relevant later on. It definitely is. Suddenly, as if from nowhere to pad out the running time, a subplot emerges. This cringy superfan starts harassing Kimmy for a picture, which bizarrely has some sort of road run effect on it. I don't know what's happening anymore. Oh hey yeah, Michael Madsen's still in this film, isn't he? He's a victim of some sort of really bipolar kidnapping.
Hold it. Move.
Still seems quite bored though. Cheer up Michael, you're probably getting really well paid for this. At least I hope you are. At this point, the movie pulls an Aliens Colonial Marines, which is a phrase that I've just made up to describe introducing a bunch of dudes with guns that take up more screen time than the actual creatures the film is named after. These lot now possess the Piranhaconda egg, which is now covered in green jelly because of reasons, I guess. Oh boy, here we go. Best part of the movie. Most of the character names here are pretty forgettable, and I had to look on IMDb for both Rose and Jack, and you've probably noticed by now I've totally given up on calling Michael Madsen anything other than his actual name. But you know whose name that I do remember? The one name that I remembered even from back when I first saw this film like 5 years ago? LEILANI. And you know why I remember that name? Because I repeat it like 5 goddamn times in about 30 seconds.
Something wrong, Leilani? Is everything okay, Leilani?
Ladies.
Yes, Leilani? What was that? Sounded like Leilani. Leilani? Leilani?
It's honestly so bizarre. Almost every sentence in this scene is ended with a character's name. We didn't bother establishing anyone else, so why are we trying so hard to get us to remember these people's names? Anyway, LEILANI. Oh goddammit, I'm doing it too now. LEILANI and her 2 friends here are traipsing through this jungle, looking for some type of orchid or something, I guess. This girl's a scientist, you can tell because she's got glasses. They seem to have graduated from blenders to Tupperware for containment now, I guess that's progress.
But didn't you say the flowers effects weaken by the time it takes to get it back to the lab?
Correct.
Yeah, no, why would we ever do more than one take? Why could we possibly need to do more?
I hated it, and I'll tell you why. It was terrible. I'm not going to worry about it now. We're losing light, and it's a long way back to the hotel. Let's wrap it up, everybody. It's a wrap.
Anyway, they all end up getting eaten by the Piranhaconda, so this scene had literally no impact on the film whatsoever. Rest in peace, LEILANI. We hardly knew you. Definitely knew your name, though. Following that, we're back to them filming their dumb movie. Sorry, I should specify. I mean the one actually in the movie and not just Piranhaconda. I can see how that'd be confusing. And hey, it's Bikini Lady death time again! Wait, what? There's 2 of them now? Okay. Also, I didn't mention this earlier, but what's with all this wildlife B-roll footage used to transition between scenes? Either someone really needed this film to hit 80 minutes long, or the director's been binging Attenborough recently. It's just really jarring. What if I started using random stock footage to transition between parts of this review? See what I mean? It doesn't work. And don't ask why there was a stock footage video of dramatic plums. I don't know. Anyway, speaking of filler, this subplot still exists. This guy decides to make up for his earlier perving by suggesting that he and his girlfriend go to an uninhabited part of the island. We keep coming back to these two like 4 or 5 times throughout the rest of the film, but for the sake of brevity, I'm going to sum up the entire character arc right now. They search for a beach in Hawaii. Yes, the place that is known entirely for its beaches, but apparently the common beaches are not good enough. They have the lamest splash fight in cinematic history. He goes for a piss. He hears an engine backfire, I guess. Maybe that's supposed to be the snake, who knows. He keeps pissing even though there's clearly no streaming shot. And he gets eaten. Right, job done, let's move on. The crew's slasher film has been cancelled, so they head back to the hotel. They stop on the road to help someone that's broken down and end up getting kidnapped by the same dude that's taken Madsen, who for some reason looks like a cross between David Arquette and Mark Wahlberg. Jack and the film's special effects guy decide to do a runner. X-Pac over here gets clocked in the face with a stick. Jack really milks his 4-foot drop into water. And another rando gets Piranhaconda'd. Excellent.
Come.
You know, this is kidnapping, really kidnapping.
Yes, I am aware of this, thank you. Why don't you just pretend that you are in one of your movies? Yes, like the Hillbilly Hostage,
You saw Hillbilly Hostage.
Oh, indeed. It was a truly terrible film.
I'm not sure if you really have room to criticise in that regard, Walcott, my dude. Marky Mark takes the Funky Bunch back to the same warehouse where Michael Madsen's being held.
One big happy family.
Michael, you've got to be the most disinterested hostage ever. Leader of the group sees the Piranhaconda footage from the intro.
Claro que sí. Something much worse. It's like an unholy union between a piranha and an anaconda.
You mean a piranhaconda?
I can't believe you just said that.
Roll credits. Bossman decides to keep the egg cell, but first he wants to make a ransom video for the crew. Thankfully, Rose has an ingenious plan to save the team.
I have to pee.
Wahlberger starts getting handsy before getting a knee to the nads, and a chase ensues. It's interesting that his pants were clearly already wet before he got in the river. Rose gets saved by the Piranhaconda, reusing this animation again, and then she runs back to the kidnappers for some reason.
No, it's like this giant snake, but it's not a snake, man.
It's an evolutionary line jumper.
In layman's terms,
It's a random mutation of enormous size, hyperacute senses. Put simply, it's probably the most dangerous predator ever known to mankind. I've been hunting that damn thing for 20 years. I finally found it.
After we finally get some lazy exposition, Jack and the Demolition Man turn up to save the gang. Milo, the director, decides to sacrifice himself for the greater good, after some gentle prompting from Madsen.
it's 50 yards of open ground out there. You'll never make it alive, not without someone covering you.
No, Milo, we're not leaving you.
And I can't make that run. So either we all stay here and die together, or I give the rest of you a fighting chance.
Good thought.
Yeah, dude, sacrifice yourself, don't be a bitch. Luckily, he knows how to handle a submachine gun for no apparent reason. The poorly choreographed confrontation is interrupted by the snake once again. This lady gets eaten, everything blows up, Pyro Guy gets shot, and the song's back again. Please, no! The group steal the kidnapper's van and try to outrun the Conda by swerving unnecessarily on a straight road, while Michael Madsen gives some more disinterested exposition.
I think we lost it. I doubt it. That creature hunts with a predatorial sense of smell.
Jack somehow senses that Snake will get in front of them and hits the brakes, causing Madsen to fall to the side for no reason. Can't even bring himself to act out physics correctly in this film. Head kidnapper boy suddenly has an RPG that is produced from somewhere, and he kills the first Piranhaconda before some piranha cannibalism occurs. The car breaks down, so Madsen suggests they look for a boat instead. I wonder where they'll find one of those. Hey, Milo survived, and the movie's even remembered that side plots are supposed to reconnect to the main story at some point, so he finds the girl from earlier. I wonder if these two are now going to meet up with the main group, maybe save them at the end of the film? No, they both just get eaten. Okay then, starts yet another scene that has no impact on the plot whatsoever. Between this and the 5 minutes wasted on LEILANI, this film could have been so much shorter. But wait, the film has actually done something competently here. They've reincorporated the boat that turned up randomly earlier. I mean, it's clumsy as hell, but we have to take what we can get here. Continuity had to suffer though, as the green jelly that's surrounding the egg has now disappeared completely. Presumably so that Jack can fit some C4 into the blender for his master plan. A confrontation once again gets interrupted by the beast, and we're really going to have to talk about the CGI. Obviously they can't use practical effects for the snake, because an 80-foot animatronic would really be expensive and probably look like something out of a shit pantomime. But the fact there is nothing there for the actors to actually look at can lead to some really goofy shots. Like here, where all these guys are aiming in different directions, none of which are anywhere near where the snake actually is. Anyway, all the kidnappers, including the boss and Marky Mark, get eaten, as does Kimmy, who sacrificed herself for literally no reason. Jack and Rose come across a corpse that seems to have had a run-in with the Predator. Madsen's done a runner with the egg, while Jack decides to go and try and kill the snake.
Well, this'll come in handy. So will that.
Man, that is some Birdemic level look there.
Hey look, a fishing rod. I can go catch some fish. Oh look, a stove. We can cook it.
Hey, good idea.
Rose and Madsen have an embarrassing scuffle on the boat over the egg, and what's that noise I hear? It sounds like the budget's running out. Well, we're gonna have to kill off Michael Madsen, can't afford him anymore. At least we get a different animation this time. These two meet up again, and look, it's that road from earlier. Except it's got a tour bus in the background this time. What a holiday highlight that must have been. And hey, that's the wall from literally about a minute ago. This island must be tiny. The plan to use the egg as bait works, and they managed to blow up the Piranhaconda while diving off of a waterfall. I don't know why they did it while they were diving, probably because they thought it would look cool. It didn't. Jack and Rose kiss as they get eaten by another Piranhaconda, making the entire story completely pointless in order to set up for a sequel that they're definitely not going to get. The song kicks in once more, and the credits begin to roll. So that was Piranhaconda. As far as so bad it's good movies go, there's definitely some mileage here. It's kind of self-aware, which obviously disqualifies it from the higher echelons of this genre, but that's kind of the case with a lot of sci-fi original stuff. Of course, stuff like this is never going to eclipse the genuine attempts to make great cinema, the sort of things that you see from Tommy Wiseau and Neil Breen, but there's enough unintentional stuff in Piranhaconda that it's worth a laugh at. It's not a drag to watch, which is always a danger of these types of films. In fact, while I was writing my notes for this review, I managed to convince my brother to watch this with me, and he hates these types of films, and even he didn't struggle with it too much. So there you go, glowing praise. I've seen this like 6 times now, and I'm kind of hoping this will be it. Thanks for watching. I'm just going to have a little unscripted ramble now at the end, so I'm going to whack some stock footage up on screen for you to be entertained by. This is the first thing of its type they've ever attempted, and it was a hell of a lot more complicated than I was expecting. So if there's anything kind of patchy, that's why. I was learning as I went, and this is the first time I've ever written a script for something, first time I've ever narrated from a script, you know, work in progress. But I really enjoyed making it, and I've already got other films lined up that I want to do, so if you did enjoy, you can subscribe to the channel to see more, you can like the video, share it around, do whatever you need to do. Hell, you can even make suggestions for films to cover, although I will try and stay away from the most famous ones like The Room. Other people have already done them. But thank you very much for watching, as I've already said, and I'll see you for the next one.